You are now tuned in to another episode of Flawless Fantasy Football, and we're back for part 2 of the wide receiver endorsement show for Flawless Fantasy Football. Yeah, man, listen, guys, first I'm going to tell you I'm excited about the next 2 videos because I had to do some soul searching. Yes, I had to do some soul searching. I actually had to, I don't want to say I had to put my best foot forward, but I wanted to be as forthcoming as I could. Hopefully you'll understand what I mean by that as I go through the video, and hopefully it hits. All right, so I feel great about this video and I'm excited about it, but we're gonna do things a little different here. As you can see, your boy posted up. You know, I like, okay, I want to focus on content without me just getting, start going on my little tangents and stuff like that. I want to stick to the point because I believe this video is very informative. And again, I really feel as if I had to do some soul searching with this, and you'll see. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the last video. I know a couple of you guys say like, "Oh, Cooper Kupp, he's a yellow." And keep in mind, like I said, guys, I can do 10 real drafts and I wouldn't have Cooper Kupp on neither team because I don't feel as if Cooper Kupp or any player is mandatory to have. Okay, and, yeah, you might say, "Oh, I want this player." Let's say, for instance, I want Jamar Chase this year. But I'm not married to the dude, I don't have to have him. I have to worry about picking the most flawless team that I can pick. And hopefully they hit week to week more so than my opponents, get to the playoffs and make some noise. So it's not about one player, all right? So we kind of got to move past that mindset like, "Oh my gosh, I hope I have one of the top picks." Why? I've won from the 12 before. I've won from the 7 before. Hell, to be totally honest with you, I mess up the most when I'm at the top. Because I always pick in between 2 people, I'm always pick the wrong one. I'm terrible at that. Like, even if we go to if I go to a grocery store and I have lane 3 and I have lane 4. Both of them have 2 people in it. And now look, the people will be about the same age. One look fairly young, one's older in each line. I'm gonna choose lane 3 or choose the lane on the left. The lane I choose is the second person that's in that line, they're gonna pull out a checkbook and have 1,001 questions to ask, while 3, 4, 5, 6 people then went in the other line. Yeah, I have the worst luck when it comes to 50-50s, but that's just me, and that's a part of my personality. My point is, do the best with what you can get. You should like some of everybody in the first round. Some of everybody, not everybody. And build up your team, guys. Don't feel like you're married to the players. I'm saying? It's almost draft time. Let's get to this, all right? Let's be serious about this thing. Let's build up some nice, strong squads with minimal plotters, but more needle movers and people that make a difference. All right, that's my little monologue. Let's get right into the video. Now we're gonna do things different. We're gonna still bring out the chalkboard, okay? So the whiteboard. I know y'all love the whiteboard, so we're gonna still do that, but we're just gonna do things a little bit different. Number 13, currently, before I jump into it, for the people that are new, the way I work things here in the Flawless Fantasy Football community, when I do the endorsement shows, is for a player that I list, I either give them a green designation, a yellow designation, or a red designation. A green designation means I give them my full 100% approval to be drafted in that area around that ADP and able to perform at that ADP or outproduce it. The yellow means I can see a world, it's like a partial 50-50 endorsement, where I can see worlds where this player does great and outperforms the ADP and in draft selection, or that person can do terrible and be a terrible selection. So I can see worlds in both. And lastly, a red endorsement, meaning that I personally won't endorse this person at all because of whatever situation I feel is a disadvantage for them to be drafted. So it's a green, yellow, and red endorsement. Green means full go. Red means caution, 50-50. You could be to the moon or to the ground. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So that's what yellow is, 50-50. And red means absolutely not. Now listen, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. You can draft these guys if they're red if you want to. I'm just simply don't advise it. I have my own teams. So it's up to you to decide who you like, who you don't like. And because guess what? What fun would it be if we all had teams that look like mine? So I don't mind seeing different teams, but let's not fall in love with players and pick players that chances are you're just trying to bypass production when there's a lot of obstacles in the way. Let's get to it. Number 13, for the sake of time and all this editing and stuff like that, we're gonna go to the board. So just chill out on it. But so I want you guys to listen to me anyway. So number 13 on half point PPR. This is based on half point PPR projections based on Fantasy Pros' rankings as of 8/17, 8/18. And we're just gonna go down the list from wide receiver half point PPR from wide receiver 13 all the way down to 24. Number 13 is Devonta Smith. All right. Now, Devonta Smith, I have no problem with him. The guy, the Slim Reaper, they call him. He had a great year last year. He finished as a wide receiver 1, which is a top 12 wide receiver. He was number 10 last year. Number 10 last year. So he was wide receiver 1. Everything went right for the Philadelphia Eagles offense, right? So you had AJ Brown. He performed well. And to be totally honest with you, Slim Reaper was nice. He was serviceable. He was in there. But it wasn't until Dallas Goedert got hurt and his numbers started to, he really started to hit up. Now Dallas Goedert's back. Dallas Goedert's catching passes, touchdown passes, and he's back to being Goedert. Okay, so now if it's 3 miles to fill on a team like the Eagles, so am I saying he's a bad pick? No, but is he somebody that I feel that he can go back and get wide receiver 1 status again? There's worlds where that can happen, but I don't think so. Does that mean that he won't be in between a wide receiver 13, 16, 17? I can see that happening. But to me, when, as far as greens, I'm saying, it's like I really got to feel as if there's a stronger chance because, to be in the top 12, you being a number 1 receiver, especially on your team. So because of how his production aligned with Dallas Goedert's injury last year, he's an exceptional player, but I'm going to give Devonta Smith a yellow. Does not mean he's a bad pick. The dude's awesome, especially when he ain't got to be the number 1 receiver. And I like the way it was going to him down the stretch. He was just a monster, even in the playoffs. Even though that catch against San Francisco was an incomplete pass. You guys remember that? Down the sidelines, but some reason they didn't throw the flag. Why do you think? Oh, we know why they didn't think. Because it's a stage show. Obviously, even if it's questionable, you throw the flag. But I digress. Devonta Smith is an awesome player. Awesome player, but he gets a yellow for Flawless Fantasy Football's endorsement for 2023. That's not bad. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a knock on him, okay? Yellow for Mr. D. Smith, Slim Reaper. Next is T. Higgins at number 14. T. Higgins, listen. T. Higgins, he was the number 1 for 5 games last year, right? T. Higgins ended up the wide receiver 17. Missed a few games, right? Because he's always going to miss 2 or 3 games because he glass. He loved to do that. Seems like that's his MO. But he is in a high-power offense, but he is not the alpha at any time, at any day. Jamar Chase is the alpha among alphas over there, and you ought to know how I feel about him. I feel that he's going to be the number 1 overall wide receiver this year. That's just me, because I don't like to ride with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And that's not just because I don't ride with everybody else. It's just I see that type of ceiling in Jamar Chase. So, but as for Higgins, I do think he's legit. I do think he's a way better option than Boyd. I do see Burrow having a great season. If Burrow end up throwing like 40 TDs, Higgins can put in some nice work and flirt with low end wide receiver 1, high end wide receiver 2 numbers. But last year he finished 17 and he missed those games, so he got it in him. So I'm gonna give him a yellow, even though he's a solid pick. But my thing, I just don't think he'll be a wide receiver 1 unless like things totally broke his way. Like Burrow threw like 42 and he ended up getting like 11 or some 10 or 11 or something. That type of thing. But he's a solid pick. But I'm gonna give him a yellow. If you like Higgins, go ahead and rock with Higgins. Not a bad pick, but he gets a yellow from Sir Flawless at number 14. Number 15 is, no other than Desiree Catherine Metcalf. Oh, Desiree, back on the show. Man, it's been a while, Desiree, man. Me and I hit Desiree up the other day, man. We chopped it up for a little bit, man, when I was at the job, man. So, yeah, he told me, it's like, man, please, man, just call me DK, man. I was like, nah, bro. Who the hell is DK, bro? Who the hell is DK? He's like, all right, so Desiree Catherine is back on the block, and he's currently ranked number 15 on half-point PPR on Fantasy Pros. But let me tell you, he finished number 18 last year. Now, I'm going to tell you something about Desiree, okay? Desiree knows how to, 18, so that's what? A mid-range a mid-range wide receiver 2. And he was unlucky in the touchdown department. He's always in the top 2 or 3 in red zone targets. But they just aren't hitting, But they are going to start hitting. And this is the year I believe they're going to start hitting. He get back up to double-digit touchdowns, it's a wrap. He'll be a wide receiver 1 floating around, wide receiver number 8 or 9 overall, easy. I love Catherine this year. So because I love Catherine this year, and I'm not worrying about the rookie and Jigma, because you got 2 studs over there in him and Lockett and Metcalf, to where the rookie gonna make some plays, don't get me wrong, but on a run team like that, with 2 dudes that are legit, it's gonna be hard for that wide receiver to break loose unless an injury happens. But he'll still be second fiddle and won't have had the trust of the quarterback as much as the others. So Desiree is getting a green from me. It's time for him to level up this year and go back to what he was before. And I can see that happening with, Lockett, which is still awesome, but just getting a year older. Love Desiree. Desiree's getting a green heart for me, like I said. Number 16 is Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper finished in half-point PPR, the wide receiver 9 last year. Man, Amari Cooper, every time you turn your damn head, he was scoring. Like, damn, he scored again. Like, he wasn't even like somebody, nobody. I put him as green. I think I put him as a yellow. But it's like, man, it's crazy. But he snapped. But I'm going to tell you something what got me. Deshaun Watson came back, and his numbers plummeted. He was great when Jacoby Brissett was in the game. But when Deshaun came back, you could have went up against freaking 3 Amari Coopers. And that team would have stunk if that would have had 3 Amari Coopers playing against you. You'd have liked seeing it. So, but Deshaun Watson coming back this year. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we've seen the best of Deshaun Watson. Look, now people are like, oh man, he probably just hate Cooper Cup. Like, oh no, look, Deshaun Watson said, yep. But Deshaun Watson, you washed. This ain't Houston, ain't nothing against you. But we just seen the best of you. I keep it a stack, man. If I think you washed, you washed. And I think Deshaun Watson is washed. Deshaun Watson is washed. That's a tongue twister, especially from a person like me that stutter a lot. But I believe he could have a good year, right? But I'm a believer in Chubb this year. And I just don't think he'll be hyper. I'm not going to say he's not going to be hyper targeted. It's just not going to be the same type of production. I don't see him being a wide receiver one this year. But, Amari, I am going to give you a yellow. I am going to give you a yellow because I don't think you're a bad pick. I just won't pick you personally. But there is a world where you can do well if the connection. Because listen, this is not Deshaun Watson throwing it to a youthful Hopkins. That's we got to get that out of our head. Those days are gone, guys. How long was that ago? About 6 years ago? And people still hanging on to thinking that that's the case. No, I ain't buying it. It's time to move forward. It's 2023. All right? I recommend you pick higher upside players that have youth and opportunity and are studs and needle movers. That's right. So, because of Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper's going to get a nice yellow. Next up is Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, he missed 7 games last year, right? But he finished as wide receiver 42. Now I know a lot of people like I said before, oh well, you can't judge injury, you can't. I can prophesy injuries. I sure can. I can do it. So here's the deal, man. Father Time's undefeated. The dude's what? 33, 32 years old or something, well into his 30s. He's older than Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp 31. 30 or 31. I think 31. But nevertheless, Keenan Allen old, man. Keenan Allen old. It's like, there's no way I would be trying to put this dude on my team. Sure, when he's in there, he might get hyper-targeted, but then you're allergic to touchdowns, too. He's going to cap at 6 touchdowns. And then, heaven forbid, he get hurt. Him and Mike Williams, both of them are freaking glass. That's why I put out that YouTube short that I like Quentin Johnson along with Flowers as the rookie wide receivers. Just one other one, but, them two are the ones because I feel there's a higher opportunity for them to be involved. Because the people in front of them are so glass. And they have the youth and the opportunity on their side. But with Keenan Allen, he's missed 7 games, like I say, but he's gonna miss some more games. Like I say, him and what's called miss like him and my boy Mike Williams. They only finished four games last year together. Glass, man, both of them. I love Mike Williams, and I'll tell you, glass. But hell, he's way cheaper than Keenan. Plus, he's not allergic to touchdowns. So you got he can go deep. So I like that. So having said that, guys, straight up, Keenan Allen is getting a red from me. Yep, he's getting a red from me. You guys saw that coming. You saw it coming. Now look, is Willie going to be productive in there? They're going to be throwing the ball. Sure. But the dude is long in the tooth. Google his freaking age if you don't believe me. And if you want to play that game, go right ahead. But I don't want to hear, I didn't make it to the playoffs flawless because I had. I'd be like, didn't you pick Keenan Allen? Yeah. What happened that week when he glassed out on you? Oh, you lost by 3, huh? Okay, and then you missed the playoffs by, okay. See? Everything counts. So, look, guys, at the end of the day, I'm not in the business of going against Father Time. It's a bad bet. I'd rather just pick somebody else. All right? So, there you go, Keenan Allen. Next up is Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley, man, they're saying he looks great in camp. He's awesome. Some people are saying he's the number 1. I'm not sure of it. I'm not buying it. That doggone interception that Lawrence threw in the freaking first preseason game was nasty on the sideline. But, again, it's just preseason. I do believe their offense is going to be good. Lawrence is going to be throwing all the ball all over the place. I think he'll do just fine. But I'm not going to sit up here and give him a green. If you want to take a chance on him, sure, go right ahead. He's awesome, but he's been out. He didn't play last year, essentially, and it's not like he has the best rapport with him like with Lawrence. But dude's athletic and he should be fresh. I give him a yellow though because things could go wrong with Calvin Ridley and things could go great. But I'm gonna give him a yellow. I hope the best for him. I hope he ball the hell out because I'm going to like 3 Jacksonville games this year. Speaking of Jacksonville games. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah. Speaking of Jacksonville games, my son's birthday, my youngest son's birthday, he turned 10 next He turned 10 next week. I'm gonna get him. He's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. So most of y'all probably know that. I'm gonna get him tickets to go to, and we're gonna go to the Kansas City Jacksonville game. he's gonna love that, man. He's gonna love that. That's week 2, so that's gonna be freaking awesome. Him seeing Mahomes. My uncle, he lives in Kansas, had sent him down. He had sent him down I think it was Monday or something. He sent him down a care package per se, and with a Kansas City chain in it, it's a little smaller one that he had than the one he has, and like he bought like 3 Kansas City things, but the other one was I think it was official. It was a Patrick Mahomes jersey, and his eyes like blew up. You know what I'm saying, that morning when he opened up the package. You know, he's eating breakfast, and so yeah, that's what's up. So he's gonna be able to sport that to the game. It's gonna be a great time. He's gonna enjoy it. So I just want to let you know that. You know, I gotta talk about me here once. You know, my life. You know, it's gotta throw it in there once in a while, right? So let's go to the whiteboard, guys. Let's review where we're at. You have Devonta Smith at number 13 is getting a yellow, and number T. Higgins getting a yellow at 14. DK Metcalf at 15 is getting a green. Amari Cooper at 16 is getting a yellow. Keenan Allen at 17 is getting a red. And Calvin Ridley at 18 on the rankings getting a yellow. All right. So now back to the second 6, which was basically going to be 19 through 24. All right. Let's get into it. Currently, number 19, half-point PPR on Fantasy Pros is Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel's finished wide receiver 38 last year. Let me say it again. 38 last year. You guys know I'm a Niner fan. I'm a Niner stuff. Some over there. You guys know I'm a Niner fan. Okay? Deebo missed 4 games last year. He tried to muscle and won his money and did all that type of stuff earlier. Listen, in short, Ayuk's ascending. Purdy is the quarterback. Throw the ball downfield. Loves to throw it to Kittle. Second year with Christian McCaffrey in the team, and it's going to be going more and more through McCaffrey. I am not in the business of recommending someone pick Deebo Samuel at number 19 wide receiver overall. I don't believe he'll be a wide receiver 2. Wide receiver 2 is obviously, again, in between wide receiver 13 and 24. You know, so because of Kittle, because of CMC, because of Ayuk ascending, and with Purdy loving to throw the ball downfield and not, because listen, we're chasing that 1 year when he was getting picked in the 8th, 9th round, and he was the number 2 wide receiver overall after Cooper Kupp. But we got to stop thinking that that's the case now. That's not the case. I'm a 49er fan, and I'm telling you, I have no problem with Deebo. I want Deebo to stay healthy because he helped the team win. But to sit up here and think that Deebo's going to be running in touchdowns, he's going to have to do it off of catching the ball and doing it like a wide receiver. For that to say, for me to be, and for him to have an ADP of 19 overall for wide receivers, and people drafting him in that area, it's an easy way he can bust based on all the variables, injury, not being needed like he was before. I'm going to give Deebo Samuels a red. A red, I know, a red. And this is not, listen guys, I'm a Niner. So you would think like, he just being, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't draft Deebo. Straight up. Because unless Kittle get hurt or unless Ayuk get hurt, I don't believe he's going to offer, and with injury stuff, I don't believe he's going to offer you a top 24 wide receiver finish. 24, I don't believe that. More teams are throwing that rock like that, and San Francisco already not hyper targeting. It's not really a throwing team like that, so like that anyways. So that's my point. I'm going to give him a red based on, now if Tebow happened to drop later, like a round or so after he's going out, and you want to pick him up as wide receiver 3 at the highest, then sure. I still wouldn't, because I think it's other higher upside wide receiver 3s out there. So that's my take on that. Again, a red means that a red for me, meaning I won't draft him. Okay? Now, if you be like, okay, well, I'd rather take the shot because I like him, but I got a lot of people on my team before him, then go right ahead. I'm all for that, but you only get one selection per round, so you got to be careful about that. I have a high level of conviction. I give a person a red in a heartbeat. So, or I'll pass them up, Like Jonathan Taylor. Y'all know I love Jonathan Taylor. I ain't touching him with a 10-foot freaking pole. A 10-foot pole. So, there you go. Debo, I love you, but it's time to go. Next up is DJ Moore. He's currently ranked number 20 on half-point PPR. And I'm going to tell you, this is my biggest surprise. He's finished wide receiver 22 last year. So he was a low-end wide receiver 22, right? And he's going to Chicago. I believe that they're going to use him right. I believe they're going to use him kind of like in the use short stuff. They're going to and let him run with it. And I'm believing in whenever they bring in a wide receiver to up to a quarterback status. Just like when they brought over Diggs. It just when you bring over a legit wide receiver, it ups the quarterback. And it actually makes him more dynamic, the quarterback. Listen, man, in short, I had to think long and hard about this. I wouldn't say I want him to be your second wide receiver or anything like that, but if you get him your third, why not? Because a lot of you guys, most of you guys in PPR drafts. I'm giving DJ Moore a green. I'm giving DJ Moore a green heart. And listen, if you can pick him as your wide receiver 3, look, you guys know I endorse elite quarterback. Get yourself an elite quarterback, and you got yourself 2 wide receivers that are higher than him. Okay? And then you get, that's higher on the pecking order than him, that are like surefires, and you got him as your 3. Man, that's a nice needle mover to have. So it's like if he pop on any given day with your elite quarterback and your other 2 stud wide receivers, you're looking pretty good. Man, listen, he's always been a wide receiver floating around 16, 19 or whatever, but I believe he could actually level up this year and flirt with high-end wide receiver 2 status and possibly low-end wide receiver 1. It's possible, especially if they just keep having big plays like that, throwing it out there to the side and everybody just skedaddling away, and he's shooting up the doggone sidelines or up for 70 yards. That's huge, man. That's like 14 points, PPR points in one play. So I'm going to give DJ Moore, if you could get him as your wide receiver 3, because I did a mock like that. I don't know if I posted it, but no, I didn't. I did it and I wrote it down. And I was from the 7th spot. And I think I got him in the 4th round, I believe. I'm not sure. But the team came out great. So that's my biggest surprise, man, is DJ Moore. But hey, man, the dude, he can pop this year. And I'm not going to sit up here and be down on the dude when he got a lot of upside, and I believe they're going to use him right. I don't think the other guys are going to be getting targeted over him like that. So DJ Moore wheels up. Next up is Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton. You got some tight ends over there. I believe them bringing over the stud coach, bringing him back over after he'd been retired for a little bit, because of course he left after old boy Breeze left. But I refuse to believe that they're going to bring in Sean Payton and have Denver suck. I just don't believe that whatsoever. Jeudy caught a touchdown pass in the preseason. I believe he has I'm sure easily he has like 85% chance to be the number 1 wide receiver on the team. And if I'm believing that team is going to ascend offensively, he's going to benefit from it. So if you want to pick Jeudy as your number 3 wide receiver, I'm great with that. He finished as the wide receiver 21 last year, and he missed 2 games. And he's listed as the 21st wide receiver on the list. I think he can outproduce where he's getting drafted at. He's right on par with where he finished last year, but I believe he can outproduce that with the better offense, because the offense can't be any worse. Jerry Jeudy, I'm going to give a green. Get him now Jerry Jeudy trying to pick him as a wide receiver, you know what I'm saying? 1 or 2, but I'm just saying if you get him as a 3, I would truly give it a green. I give it a dark green, man. Dark green, bright green, however you want to put it. But definitely if you get him as your wide receiver 3, man, again, wheels up for him. I'm all down for it. Jerry Jeudy gets a green. Terry McLaurin at number 22 on the list. Terry McLaurin, he finished at the wide receiver 14 last year. Which surprised me. I didn't think he really finished that high. I thought he finished like 16, 17. Even though it's fairly close. But I looked at his numbers and they were just wide receiver 2 numbers. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's not that much difference between the wide receiver 13 and 24. You're just playing with like a few points at the most. It's really close. You know, the only thing that differentiates is like wide receivers that have boom games and wide receivers that's kind of more consistent. So, but Terry McLaurin, you know, you got a new quarterback over there, Sam Howell. He's got the job. But you got Dotson on the other side. You know, I believe Dotson's better than him, even though McLaurin's legit. Bieniemy should do fine over there. I like Terry McLaurin's opportunity with the new quarterback over there, but I'm gonna get Terry McLaurin a yellow. Personally, I don't care for him, but I can't fight the fact that the dude's a solid wide receiver. 2 in between 13 and 24, and he's currently getting drafted as the wide receiver 22. So I can't hate on that. So I give a yellow for Terry McLaurin. He is what he is, but he'll give you some good games as well. So I'm hoping that offense can level up a little bit, and Dotson can score a whole bunch of TDs. Yeah, see how quick send that to Dotson real quick. All right, and number 23 is DeAndre Hopkins. He's currently number 23 on Fantasy Pros half point PPR. And look, Treylon Burks, they say it was just a little issue with him. He'll be out a couple weeks, but he'll be back for week 1. You know, you got the tight end over there. But at the end of the day, listen, this is a running team. The coach already said it. He reiterated it, but he shouldn't have to. This is a running team. It evolves around Derrick Henry, King Henry, Sir Henry. It evolves around him like the sun. Okay? So, and plus, Hop by what? Hop by 33, 34? I wrote his age down here. 31? All right, 31. Anyway, he well into his 30s. Okay? And that's where wide receivers go to lay it down. These all-pro wide receivers, those old wide receivers that come to lay it down. Nobody that was really good or elite wanted them because, he was allegedly, how you got popped for the PEDs, It's like, I look at it and be like, yeah, because he's trying to keep up, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Allegedly. You got to say allegedly, but yeah, the NFL said it, not me. But at the end of the day, he's going to be out there running routes. He's going to have to be highly touchdown dependent. But when they get down there, they like to do King Henry things. But I hope he does well. But for me to say that he's going to end up being a wide receiver 23, which is a low-end wide receiver 2 overall, I don't think so. At best, he'll be a wide receiver 3. He'll fall somewhere in the 30s. But so DeAndre Hopkins is going to get a red for me. I'm not chasing old school DeAndre Hopkins. No. And you shouldn't either. Red DeAndre. Next up is Christian Watson. Look, man, Christian Watson's awesome. I like Christian Watson. No, I love Christian Watson. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna hold you. It's just a small pie over there. It's just Christian Watson. The quarterback, he's not really a passer. He's still young yet. But it's just him and Dobbs over there. Just him and Dobbs. They got a young guy over there, too. But at the end of the day, they'll be getting the majority of the pie. And we already seen what Watson can do, and he can blow the top off a game and win you a week. And for him to be listed at wide receiver 24 as a low-end wide receiver 2, the lowest wide receiver 2, I see too many big games in it with him. He ain't got to he could just catch a little slant and really be gone. Nobody can catch that dude, man. You know what I'm saying? So having him as a wide receiver 3 gives you an upside player that can flirt around high-end wide receiver 2, possibly low-end wide receiver 1. So that's how I feel about Christian Watson. Christian Watson gets a green from me. He gets a green. I really like him, and, I'll probably have him on the team or 2 myself if I don't get a snipe. But you snipe him, I'll just get somebody else. Like I said, I ain't married to nobody. You don't see no ring on these fingers. You don't see no ring on these fingers. That's right. So, let's go over the list, the full list now. Number 13, Devonta Smith gets a yellow. T. Higgins gets a yellow. DK Metcalf gets a green. Amari Cooper gets a yellow. Keenan Allen gets a red. Calvin gets a yellow. Deebo Samuel gets a red. Based on the ADP. You know what I'm saying? Here, 19, number 19 wide receiver. I don't think he's going to get that. He's going to underproduce. He's not going to meet that, in my opinion. DJ Moore gets a green. I think he'll outproduce that 20. Jared Judy gets a green. Terry McLaurin gets a yellow. DeAndre Hopkins gets a red. And Christian Watson gets a green. I hope that was informative, guys. You know what I'm saying, to you. That's truly how I feel about those. I'm interested. I can't wait to do wide receivers 25 through 36. Again, I'm giving these designations based off their ADP. If they can outperform it, be around it, or I don't believe they will. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. And also building in the upside and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before we go, there's 3 more positions open in the Listener League, Flawless Fantasy Football. They're going to be filled by the end of this week or by Tuesday. By Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest. Because I need to start getting the information out to those that are in, and we can get that going. But, so the first person that answers the question correctly in the comments, making sure that you like the video. That's another thing, dude. Why y'all watching my videos and not pressing the like button? I look at the views, and now I look at the likes. It's not even close to being like comparable. Now, I'm not saying I need 100, 80 or 100% participation, no. But hey, guys, come on, especially y'all ones. Y'all watching the videos, press like on my stuff, dog. All right. So now that I got that out of the way, you have to be a subscriber. Press like on the video, and be the first person to answer the question correctly in the comments. Must be a subscriber, must press like on the video, and answer the question correct. First person to answer it correctly in the comments. And today's question is, for the third to last spot in the Listener League, Fantasy Football Listener League, Draft League, I got stuff going through my head right now. All kind of words bouncing around. My question to you guys is this. Here it is. What wide receiver did I mention was my biggest surprise on this video? Good luck to those. See you on the next episode. Flawless Fantasy Football. Make sure you press like, comment, and let me know who you like in this range. Peace.